What's going on, guys? Today we got an uncut episode, and we're just going to be talking Kyle Lowry. We got some sweepstakes stuff going on. We've got a couple reports about teams being interested in Kyle Lowry. You've probably already seen it on my page. If you haven't, go follow at Raptors Community. Make sure you got those post notifications on because, you got to know when the news is breaking for the Raptors. But today we got a quick, interesting episode, uncut, just me and you guys talking about the Toronto Raptors and specifically Kyle Lowry, because there's been a couple different reports about the Kyle Lowry situation. Obviously, upcoming free agency is a big topic of conversation, especially for teams looking to get a staple point guard. So let's start with the Bulls, a report saying that they're interested in signing a guard in free agency, with Lowry being one of the 4 players of interest listed. And then there's another report about the Pelicans being interested in pairing Zion Williamson with a veteran guard, specifically with Kyle Lowry. And I'm here to say, Raptors fan, there's no need to panic. Don't panic. Don't worry about it, all right? And there's a couple of reasons why, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But first thing is Lowry wants a 2-year, $50 million contract. Right? He wants 2 years, $50 million at least. That's what we've heard. That's what we know. If he wants less, time to worry. If he starts saying he'll take less to play on a different team, to potentially play with some young guys, some up-and-comers, all to it. But let's just say that $2,050,000 is stuck in his head and he's saying, nah, that's the least I'd take for a contract. That's what I need. And, we know Lowry, he likes the bag. For the Pelicans, they have a large cap hold with Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart at the table entering restricted free agency. So they got some decisions to make. They can't just sign Kyle Lowry in free agency. They can let them both walk, and then they could sign Lowry straight up. But they'd be losing out on 2 young assets for no reason. They'd let them walk, and then they'd have to pursue Lowry. And then what if he doesn't want to sign with them? There's a lot of issues with that type of situation. And then they lose cap leverage moving forward by letting these guys just walk and not having their contract availability to make a sign-and-trade type deal like you could with the Toronto Raptors. And that being said, it's more likely they do a sign-and-trade with the team that has Kyle Lowry's bird rights, which is the Toronto Raptors, right? He was on their team. They signed him. They've got his bird rights, so they can sign past into the luxury tax and scoop up Kyle Lowry and trade him for a young asset. You could get Lonzo Ball in return. You could get Josh Hart in return, and whatever else to make the cap work with that 2-year, $50 million contract, or whatever Kyle Lowry may want. It could end up being 3 years, $60 million for all we know, for certain exceptions with like the Lakers if they wanted to sign him. That would be the type of trade that you'd have to do with Toronto for that one. And then you get to make a trio of Zion, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Lowry. That's an interesting team. That's a fun team. They want to win now. Boom. Good news for Toronto. They've got trade leverage for Kyle Lowry as well. You added another guy that you can another team at least in the mix for Kyle Lowry, which then makes Philly, Miami, LA kind of worry a little bit because they're thinking, we could always get Kyle Lowry. Well, what if these other teams are offering interesting packages like Alonzo Ball in return? Then it gets a little interesting for Toronto. Next, the Bulls. They have a very similar situation with Lowry marking his $20 million cap holds, and thus would need to exercise a sign and trade to stay under the cap and get Lowry. And this is also great news for Toronto as they can leverage the opportunity in a Lowry sign and trade to get a young guy like Lowry Markkanen, a front court player. He can shoot the ball. He's got a lot of potential. That's it. That's all I want to talk about. I want to say don't worry. It's not a bad thing that these two teams want them. It would be a sign and trade opportunity for Toronto. Thank you for listening. If this is your first episode, subscribe, please. All right, I need the support. I need to get to 1,000 subs before the start of next season, all right? I would appreciate it very much. Peace out, everyone.